Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome to Catabolic Window. Fucking hell, I forgot the name of our podcast there for a sec. Today's episode is the Metabolic Window. We've got Matty on. Fuck it, we'll start off with you, Matt. Matt, how's your week been?
It has been good. Obviously, we went and not many people know me. We went and saw a PCA show yesterday. It was yesterday, yeah. Jesus Christ, that's diet brains kicking in there. It was pretty good. I mean, the standard wasn't like stupid high, but it was still fucking good. There was some really impressive athletes out there, like in terms of the disabled class at the start. I was generally the most impressed with them, to be honest. That was genuinely nuts. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. Diet's going well. I am at I was at my lowest weight yesterday. Bumped up a little from my refeed yesterday. But work's going well. Uni, meh. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty good. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
It's been good, man. It's been good. Yeah. So for those that I don't, to be fair, fucking no one's gonna know. So me, Dan Duke, my client, Camille, my boyfriend, and Matty went to fuck it, we'll leave that in. Went to PCA Brum. I think it was first timers. Ooh, I forget which number. But like early on in the year, just to kind of give everyone some like experience of shows, which was cool. It was good. The disabled athletes were really fucking good, like genuinely really good. I think they were the leanest. The rest of the show was pretty much the standard that you'd expect from an early on first timer show, but respect to everyone for getting up there. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I trained with my client Kez on Saturday, so it's been fucking a hell of a mental.
You never met her before, right?
I know, I've never met Kez before.
Jeez, mate, that's like years in the making, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, like 2 years. Yeah. And then I came back and had to map out Will's peak week because he's getting a shoot done Saturday, and then I might have someone jumping on stage as well who's doing a photo shoot. So we'll see. And then obviously everyone after fucking going to see a PCA show, everyone's keen to hop into prep if they're not already in prep. So yeah, it's been a busy week but a fun week. A lot of talk of dieting, basically.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Anabolic, mate. Anabolic.
True. Can confirm. What about you, Luke, mate? How's your week been?
Decent. I trained with one of my clients, Danny, yesterday. I was hilarious story, right?
Yeah.
Bodybuilders do not know how to flirt. So he was telling me about someone at his gym, right?
Yeah.
That were trying to chat up the girl that was on the desk at the gym, and he's just sort of standing waiting to talk to her. So they're sort of chatting. And she's like, so what do you sort of get up to in your free time? And he's like, well, I just sort of train and eat the same 6 meals every day. And then she's like, well, what about the weekend? Do you do anything fun? And he's like, yeah, it's upper, and then I go home and have meal 4. Bro is not getting laid. Bro is not
Oh, dear.
Horrendous game. Jeez.
Bro is not.
The amount of people, like, I talk to coaches where they'll be like, oh, mate, I don't know what the fuck to post on my social media. And I'll be like, just post what you're up to. And they'll be like, all I do is eat and train. I'll be like, that's cap, bro. I think people forget how much shit they do that's outside of that, because not everyone's life is just that. Like, not 24/7.
I hope not. Otherwise, that's a pretty fucking boring life.
Yeah, man. But like, even like little interactions that you have at the gym, or like, fucking people forget, like, you go shopping, you'll do other shit, like, you know, things happen outside of that.
Mate, I literally go to Audi and take a picture. I'm like, pray for me, I'm in the gulag.
Yeah, that does make my day. It's like I do the same with little. It's so funny. But like, I think too many people, like you say, like, don't really know what they do throughout the week. I think if you ask someone if they what do you do throughout the week, they wouldn't be able to say. But if you said, what can you complain about throughout the week, they'd have some funny stories. I can't lie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is very true. Okay, boys, one thing that you're pissed off with this week, what are we going for?
Who's starting?
What, from like our personal lives?
Everything. Yeah, I'll go with there's a load of cunts that don't put their trolleys back outside Lidl.
You love that one, mate. That lives rent free in your little skull.
Yeah, bro, how much of a bell end do you have to be to leave your trolley like in the fucking road?
Isn't that like the basic human decency test? Is that
Yeah.
fucking trolley thing? Yeah, because it's like, would you do a good thing completely unprovoked with absolutely no benefit to yourself, just out of like principle? But I think, to be fair, I feel like putting weights back is an equivalent one there. Like if you don't put your trolley back, you probably don't put your weights back.
Mate, it's abhorrent. Like I would literally work in retail. It is the amount of stupid shit you see people do. It is unreal. I mean, trolley back is a good one, but also people walking in, not even looking around the store, because I work on produce, the fruit and veg bit. I'm like the first people. That's like the first bit in our store. People walk through. You see them look at their shopping list. Don't even look round. They just ask you every single. I guarantee, like, if every retail worker relates to this, every single time at least one person comes in and just reads out their entire shopping list. And like, I'm not going to spend 40 minutes going around finding it because they all walk stupidly slow as well.
Is that always like the more elderly people?
No, it's the younger people. Elderly people are really, really polite. There are some exceptions. It's the younger people, normally like teenagers, I say like 18. They come in and they just want to get on with it. But like, I feel like it would be quicker if you just walk around and found stuff. Like one of the items that most common people ask, or most commonly is asked, is coleslaw. And it's literally, you walk into the store and look left and it's there. Like, I don't get it. And like, when people go, "Where's the milk?" It's like, there's a milk aisle for a reason. Like,
that's nuts. Can we just talk about how dead coleslaw is for a second, though?
Yeah, that's fair.
Bro, what? You
terrible.
Bro. Coleslaw is fucking goated.
Hummus, though, on the other hand,
no.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, hummus is good. The thing is, though, it's always the stuff that's like right by the tills or right by the entrance where people miss it the most. Like, you're never gonna like fucking finding batteries or gum is always annoying.
No, that's fair.
It's never like when it's like, this is the dairy aisle, this is the meat aisle. If you're like, where's the chicken? It's like the fucking meat aisle, dickhead. But if it's like you walk into the shop and then you walk into the shop and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta find coleslaw. Whereas I feel like you'd have to be actively looking for it as soon as you walk through the door. Like that's where like you just kind of tune it out. Do you know what I mean? Like when you first get into that. There was like fucking, who was it? So did we talk about this on the podcast when people like when you're looking for something in the fridge and it's right in front of you but you don't see it? Did we talk about that?
Well, I didn't, but
no.
It's like basically it's to do with like expectation. I'll fucking wrap this up very quickly. But there was a study performed by psychologists where they were like, you basically put objects where people don't expect them to be, and so particularly men are worse at it. We'll look in the fridge and be like, right, the milk usually goes there. It's not there. The milk's not there. But like the milk is literally just to your left. The reason that you can't see it is because you're not expecting to see it, and because vision isn't just you don't just process everything you see all the time. You're constantly abstracting out because you've got so much shit to focus on that if you're not expecting to see it, you don't see it. So one of the best ways to find something is like take your finger out and say what you see and go one thing at a time, and then you'll likely see things. But men's brains abstract far more than women's brains, which is why like fucking when you're looking for something and your missus is like, it's right there, and you're like, no, it's not, and then she like comes running over and then she's like, it's here, and you're like, bro, you just pulled that out of thin air.
Yeah, I love that explanation, but for people in supermarkets, they are just fucking stupid. Like,
I had a guy ask me if he needs clips on the Smith machine the other day. I'm like, bro, do you even gravity? Like,
clearly a little part of him thinks that's a silly question. He's like, I don't think I do, but I don't know why.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. Can I just interrupt for a second? So I was just posting a story, and then first on my feed from the UK DFBA, cream of rice has been added to the banned substance list. As of today, until further notice, it has been decided that core is too optimal, and on that basis will no longer be permitted for consumption by anyone.
That's funny, okay. I forgot what day it was. I forgot what fucking day it was.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't even clock that. What the fuck? Nah.
Yeah.
God.
That's mad.
I've got an excuse. I'm dying. And I'm just stupid. But Jack, like, what are you doing?
Someone sent a message today being like, hey man, did you mean to put that on your story? And I was like, shit. I went through my story and then I was like, what? It's fine. And he was like, yeah, April Fool's. And I was like, brother, do not be doing that to me. That was shit scary.
I might just post a dick pic and be like, oh, sorry, April Fool's.
I was
Is that how it works?
What the fuck have I posted? Have I posted like, fuck knows what I've posted, man. But yeah, fucking hell.
Oh, you reminded me. I need to make an April Fool's post, or just like absolutely, well, not shit on my girlfriend, but make her fucking feel stupid.
I bet she's into that.
Fucking hope not.
Every year, I think about like April Fool's ideas, and then I never fucking do them. Like, I've thought about so many. I can't even fuck. I've put myself on the spot here. I can't think of any off the top of my head. The classic that I go for is buying out. You know, you can like advertise on a bus. I want to buy out that advertiser space and put like Jack Archer coaching, and then have it like have a bunch of buses and coaches, and take a picture next to it and be like, hey guys, I think there's been some confusion. Everyone's talking to me about fitness. I own a bus company, like coaches, like Jack Archer coaching, as in we manage coaches. Like, this is what I've been on about. Sorry if that's not clear.
You told me about this last year and it wasn't funny then, and it's even worse now.
I don't know if my humor's bad, but that's funny to me.
That's fucking funny. I still want to do that, because I think if I actually committed to it and I actually bought out that advertising space, it'd be funny, but I never do it. I never fucking do it.
Definitely.
The only one, I always see coaches be like, I'm not going to be a coach anymore, and then April Fool's like, bro, no one cares.
Yeah,
That's a pretty dead one, I can't lie.
Yeah, that is dead. Sorry guys, I'm retiring as a coach. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, literally, man.
But anyway, Luke, how has prep been so far for you? How many weeks are you in now?
Oh,
into
bro,
the trenches.
I woke up on Sunday and I dropped 1.3 pounds, and I'm like, yeah, I felt that shit.
Oh,
I was feeling wank, man.
what's that, like close to 1% for you?
As in from the day prior, I dropped.
Yeah. But I mean overnight. I mean like overnight.
1.3 is I'm 153, so yeah, almost 1% overnight.
Yeah, that wasn't a dig. That was me being genuine. Like, almost 1% overnight is fucking horrid.
Yeah, that does sound disgusting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then I did a like 20k walk with my mum on Mother's Day. My legs were trashed, bro.
Mate, I dropped 6 pounds overnight today, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. Might as well prep.
Might as well.
Jeez.
Must have not trained upper hard enough. I think my scale's busted, to be fair. I'm going to replace the batteries because that was abnormal.
Well, yeah, that is interesting, to be fair.
Yeah, one of them ones.
To be fair, I think my scale weight might go down tomorrow after a haircut, because I think I will lose fucking 5 pounds off this, to be honest.
Are you getting rid of it?
No, I'm not getting rid of it, but it needs a fucking trim. I've got the headphones on, not on purpose, but it is making it smaller. It is like a fucking afro when I wake up.
Whenever you get a trim, your hair is like, it's still crazy long.
Yeah, but it looks so shit after it. Like, I hate seeing, I don't know what it is. I hate seeing above my eyebrows. I don't know if it's because my eyebrows like proper bushy, but like, I've not even got a bad hairline. Like Becca always says about it. I've not even got a bad hairline. I just don't like seeing it. So
Mad.
I'm glad I don't live with my parents anymore, because my dad, that's such a wild thing with no context, but my dad used to make me go like army shaven over, not like make me, not like force me, but like you talk to the person, and like I used to like it. I have no idea how. I mean,
yeah, no wonder you got a crazy mullet now. You've done a Bob Ross. You've literally done a Bob Ross. Holy shit! Man is him, bro. Is him.
My ex, her parents made her have a boy haircut until she was like 12, and she still got trauma from it. It's hilarious.
What?
I don't know. They just did.
What trim did she have? Was it like
was like a long boy haircut? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, when I walk into the bar and go, "Can I have a boy haircut?" Like,
what? You know, you go on the board and there's all the blue haircuts, all the pink haircuts.
Yeah, very progressive.
Yeah, facts, to be honest.
No ideal.
If you're a girl listening and you have a boy haircut, do not inquire for cut. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Okay, hell. Yeah, I mean, I wish I wouldn't be able to pull off the army haircut anymore, like the shave off. I just need to get a jump on anabolics and get massive. I need wham delts, wham traps to go bald.
I wish I want like a low maintenance haircut. To be honest, like the length of my hair now is calm. It's just like I look better with longer hair. But fuck me, bro, it's so tedious. You wake up and it's just all over the place. And you're like, fuck's it. Like, I have to like style the back of my head. Fuck off.
I can trust me, I can relate.
You take a shower and your hair's wet for like 3 years. Like, I still don't think my hair's dried from when I wet it when I was fucking 14. It's fucking annoying. But like, I'd love to suit a buzz, but my head is very bowling ball-esque. I will look like Conor Launder. No offense to Conor Launder.
Wow.
He is looking mad, to be fair.
Oh yeah,
Seen him pop up.
To
Tom
be fair,
competed at the weekend as well, didn't he?
yeah, he did. So did fucking Tom Taylor.
Yeah, that was mad. I saw him. Well, I mean, when we were going to the PCA show, as I got into the car, I just looked through Instagram real quick. First thing that pops up, his cheeks on my phone. Couldn't be more happy. Now I'm doing. But yeah, I was like, fucking hell, fair enough. And then I saw his stage pics, and I was like, oh my fucking god, that man has made some improvement. Like
The peak as well was so much better this time around compared to last. Like he was peaked. Like mate, looking at his stage shots is actually like a masterclass in peaking. He fucking looked so full.
He was very cool.
did he
Yeah,
come second?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. I don't know who won, but I'm guessing it was it the bald guy next to him in his stage shots, I think, actually. I think it was that guy.
I'm on his IG.
There was a picture of him next to some guy, and I was like, that guy must be like my height, because he was like literally underneath Tom. Like the top of his head was like the bottom of Tom's arm. It was hilarious.
I remember the first time I realized how massive he was when he was stood next to Henry, and I was like, what the that man, I thought he was like 6 foot. I thought he was tall. I didn't think he was like, oh my god, tall.
He's a giant.
Fair enough.
I can't see any stage shots on his feed. Am I dumb? I mean, I can see him, but not any comparative stage shots.
I don't think he posted them yet. No.
No, I think I just saw on a story on the day. I didn't see like.
Did you see his shots this morning?
Oh, what was it? 5 days out when he said he's like, yeah, like, I was like, his back relaxed. I don't think I've ever seen someone's waist go from like that to like fucking that.
Yeah,
it's mad. Looks like Dorito.
Yeah, he looks man. He does look fucking man.
Oh yeah,
Man.
Looking forward to going to the gym he trains at Intent. Doesn't he trains out of Intent most of the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, decent chunk.
Yeah,
Decent chunk.
I'm looking forward to it. I've programmed full body for that day.
Smart man, good move.
Yeah.
When did you change over to full body?
Well, no. It's basically we've got upper lower in. It's just like when I'm busy or like when uni comes in. Like last Friday, I had a massive uni lecture, unfortunately, and it just ran over. And I was like, oh great, I can't really train tonight. So we just put it into full body. I do really enjoy full body. Like I actually think it's so underrated, especially for like when you've got someone who really wants to get into lifting, it just doesn't really have that much time. And I don't know why there's such a stigma that like you need to train like loads of volume on like one specific muscle group in one session, like, you know, the bro split and shit like that. It's like if you just run them through a full body and like if they actually trained hard, if you run a full body and don't train hard, it's like, oh well, nice one, mate. But like if you actually train hard, it's a different experience. The pump is insane as well, to be fair. Not that I really care about pumps, but
you can antagonist superset the fuck out of a full.
I know it's mad, isn't it?
Disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Essential.
Have you guys ever done a German body comp session?
No.
Is that the one where you run up volume really, really high?
No, that's German volume training.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So German body comp, basically the overall idea of it is sets of 4 to 8 with so Paul Carter's already gassed. Supersetting like an upper body push with a lower body pull, and then an upper body pull with a lower body push. So you're supersetting like fucking pull-ups with a leg press or a hack squat, and then you're supersetting like a dumbbell press with fucking RDLs.
Oh,
You're just
fuck that, bro. That's
Central
just
nervous system overload. What the fuck?
I did it once and I'm like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah.
That's mad that you even tried that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was with Paul, so obviously it got rid.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Paul Carter then. That would have been a link up of the century.
That would not have been a good link up.
It's still blocked.
Yeah.
No, you need to get him unblocked. You need to start DMing him and like just saying like it would be funny if you just DM'd him like on an alt account and went, "Hey Pookie, can you like," and just ask a simple question about lifting and it'll just instantly go, Google it. It's free.
Yeah. He's such a prick, man.
He's just a prick.
Yeah, we should try and get him in the pod, Paul Carter.
We should.
Yeah.
I would love to have a chat with him, even though I feel like he'll just go like any sentence. He'll just go Google it. Just say hi, and he'll be like, "Oh, I need to Google the response. Give me a sec." He's a questionable guy.
I can't believe people listen to him.
Mate, I had a client message me. He was like, "Hey, can you link me any studies on like hypertrophy, sets, reps, etc." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man. Like, how come?" Are you like getting some? Oh my god, my fucking feed is full of April Fools, man, pissing me off. I was like,
what you see it?
Fucking illegal nutrition posted. I got robbed last night.
This is when he actually did get robbed last night.
Last night, a safe containing our new product was stolen by armed individuals wearing balaclavas.
That is so shit.
Bruv, it's
No
illegal nutrition. It's clearly like you ever followed illegal nutrition?
No.
Their whole thing is like GTA, but it's subs. So it's probably, if you guys did get robbed over creatine, I'm sorry that you got robbed at gunpoint for creatine. I'm sure it was really special creatine. That is peak if that happened. But anyway, so yeah, so he was like, oh, you know, I was like, are you debating someone? He was like, yeah, fucking Paul Carter head, basically. And I was like, okay, well, there's a few different studies that like people like Paul like to cite. So can you ask him which ones? Because it's pointless me combating it. And then he was like, he asked the guy, and the guy was like, oh, I don't know the studies. Hang on. And then I was like, I followed up like 2 hours later. I was like, how's it going? He was like, oh, he's on YouTube trying to find which studies he's referring to. I'm like, okay, bro. But he literally messaged my client because he was like, oh, I'm injured. And like he was like, my client was like, okay, you know, what do you do? And he was like, I do 5 to 8s on everything. And he was like, okay, well, why don't you just not do that? And he was like, oh, I don't want to cost myself growth. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
This is what I don't understand, right? The best way to build a shitload of muscle over a long period of time is to not be injured, so you can actually fucking train. Like, do you know what's costing you more gains? Not being able to train the muscle that you want to grow because you're training like a fucking nonce.
I think people as well get hung up on the whole fatigue thing. Oh, 5 to 8 reps is less fatiguing than 8 to 12. Okay, well, first of all, that doesn't fucking matter because you're only doing 1 set anyway, because apparently that's what's best. And it's taking things to an extreme. It's like, okay, the first set you do is the most stimulating and then it drops off as you go. Cool. Even if that's true, there's still an argument for doing more than 1 set. Like, am I crazy here? This is a sport of 1%. Like, you'd want to do the most sets you can still, knowing that those later ones drop off a little bit in stimulus, but you're still getting stimulus. Oh, I don't want to do 2 sets. The stimulus is less than 1. Okay, but 2 is still more than 1, bro. Just because it's not the same. But even then, and then people are like, oh, you know, it's so fatiguing. I'll be like, okay, well, did you progress the lift? Yeah, I did. Okay, well, then clearly you're not that fucking fatigued. And who cares if it creates a little bit more fatigue if it doesn't actually impact your performance? Like, me going to a fucking walk to Tesco to get my chicken instead of having it delivered here is fatigue. Cool. I don't care though. Like, it really doesn't impact me. Do you know what I mean? So if you're not seeing that fatigue get in the way, then what the fuck is the point of worrying yourselves about it? You're going to live your whole life terrified of fatigue. It's just stupid. Like, I'm just so sick of people being like, I was going to make a post about the fucking fatigue goblin and be like, I was going to make a post being like, hey guys, I can't do any check-ins. It's too fatiguing. Don't want to fuck my next session. Like, it jars me, man. It actually jars me. Like, I don't want to get a bit meathead, but like a lot of very big bodybuilders have got very big, not fucking worrying about fatigue. And like, you need to worry about it to an extent, but equally, like, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels like a very pussyfooty way of like being a hardcore bodybuilder. Oh, bro, you have to do 5 to 8 reps, but just 1 set because you can't do any more, or you can't do 9 reps because that's too fatiguing. Like, it's just cheap. If you're worried about fatigue, mate, get the fuck out of the gym. Go work at a library.
So many of them just train so badly as well.
Yeah, really. It really annoys me how they just don't take into account like other things. Like them people who are worried about fatigue, and normally people who don't even know about nutrition or haven't even got a decent meal plan or even any understanding on macros and stuff like that. What really irritates me is that like stuff like, you know, let's take an example of like Paul Carter when he shits on drop sets and, you know, like intensifiers and stuff like that. You don't need them ever. It's like that's such a blanket statement. Like actually, like there's no context around it, right? If I'm a uni student, which obviously I am, I practically I love intensifiers, right? It fit perfectly into training. I love it when Jack programs them because it just means that like I can get through my session and enjoy it and progress every single. There's a reason I'm at peak strength right now and I'm like 30-something pounds down. It's because I'm enjoying my lifts. You know, even on them days where it's just a tick box one, it's a tick box one, but it's practical. It's not like a tick box and it's impractical. I've got to stay in there for 2 hours. It's like it's a tick box one. I'm progressing every single lift. I'm still enjoying it. And I just think that's such an underrated thing. Practicality is such an underrated thing. Even when I remember when Luke used to program for me, and you'd sometimes
it was terrible,
like,
right?
Yeah, what? Sorry.
It was terrible, right?
Yeah, it was actually shit. No, he'd programmed for me, and he sometimes like I remember him. I can't remember if it's an incline Smith, and then you programmed like something next. It was like something that was next to it, so it was really easy to get on. Even thinking about stuff like that, I remember you sending a voice note about that. It literally just helps. Like it's such an underrated thing. It's just practicality is so underrated.
I have that all the time with like my PT clients. They're like, "Oh, why do we superset the assisted pull up and the assisted dip?" And I'm like, "This is right, revolutionary, right? But we can use one thing for for 2 exercises." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it makes sense."
Yeah.
I think as well it comes down to, I know Paul Carter loves to be like, "Oh, don't do drop sets, do straight sets," and I think like I can get behind that, right? If you've got 3 failure points, I think maybe it's slightly more advantageous to have a full rest between. But if the choice is 1 set or 2 sets and 1 set and a drop set, you're going to get more stimulus. Like it's not always as simple as like, oh, okay, I'll just turn all my intensifiers into straight sets, because you just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to
just make time. Just make time.
Yeah, just make time, to be fair. Just
quit your job, then you'll be able to get an extra 5 sets of chest a week.
Yeah, to be fair, the job's fatigue anyway. So
it's fatigue, man. Fucking fatiguing talking to stupid people at Morrison's, I'll tell you that.
Do not talk to me. I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued. You're getting my cortisol up, bruv. I need a steak on a wooden chopping board, and I need to hold in my sperm for another week.
And I can't touch receipts. Like,
touch receipts.
You know what I really don't like as well? When people get like a recovery rating from like their fucking Apple Watch or their Garmin watch or their Aura ring, and they're like, "Oh, it says I'm really under recovered." I'm like, "But how do you actually feel?" "Oh, I feel fine." Well, fucking train then. Like, what? How are you trusting technology over like your actual brain?
Mate, literally, like sleep is really easy to figure out. It's like, how well rested do you feel? Like literally, you can just be like, "How do you feel about your sleep?" "It was okay." "Cool, that's fine." Like if you normally jump out of bed, "Did you jump out of bed today?" "No, I didn't." "Okay, well that's bad." "Do you normally jump out of bed?" "I don't normally, but after an hour or so, I feel pretty good." "Okay, cool. Is that the case?" "Well, it took 2 hours today." "Okay, that's probably not so good. Today I jumped out of bed." "Oh, great, fantastic."
Hey, imagine spending the first 2 hours of the day in bed. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. To be fair,
it's mad that the sentence that you just said, like, it's just a simple concept, but it makes you sound like a meathead in today's like TikTok-y society. Like it makes you sound non-scientific. It's like, no, it's just that is smart. That is just like, why would I use a machine when I can just be like, yeah, sure, it's got its place. Like everything, it's got its place. You can talk about that, but like you could just listen to yourself and actually like stop fucking. It's the same thing as like, why am I listening to an influencer who's not relatable at all, and they're living the perfect life for bodybuilding, like Paul Carter, and they're saying talking about I love just saying it, sorry. And he's talking about like some drop sets that are not useful. I would rather listen to someone who's actually been through that experience and knows their shit. There's the difference there, and knows their shit, and you can kind of just get some gains from there. It's pretty obvious.
But that's the problem, is like Paul Carter, Brett Contreras, fucking all of those people that will speak in, and Kassem does the same fucking thing. They'll speak in a way of like, this is the rule that applies to absolutely everyone. Well, who does Kassem train? Him and his 4 mates and the people that are really interested in training already. Who does Brett Contreras train? Bikini girls that have already got really good sensation with their glutes. That's a bit sus anyway. And Paul Carter trains himself at the exact same time every single day. Like, how is that relevant to a normal fucking person that can't grow their glutes? If you've got someone that's a fucking bikini girl in the IFBB, like they've obviously already got pretty good glute genetics, haven't they? They're probably going to feel basically fucking anything.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to like, knowledge is one of those things where if you have true knowledge of something, you know how and when to apply it. There's not always a time to apply it. Like someone comes to me and I'll ask them vaguely, "How's your sleep?" or I get them to track it on the Check It. If they're like, "It's perfect, it's 5 out of 5 across the whole week," cool. I don't need to start lecturing them about circadian rhythm. Like if they're like, "Yeah, I eat a huge cheat meal 1 minute before I go to bed, and then I go for a run, and then I pin fucking meth, and I go to bed and I feel amazing." But like, okay, that's good stuff. That is my nighttime routine. I'll be like, okay, interesting, very on paper, not so ideal.
Have you tried reducing the dose of meth?
But we'll just like observe that over time, and if it's not an issue, it's not an issue. Or it might be like, okay, let me like explain to me what a 5 out of 5 sleep is, and I'll be like, oh, 2 hours, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, fuck that. But if you've not got a reason to go into depth with it, then don't. But equally, I think people will take a beginner in the gym and just be like, yeah, bro, barbells, dumbbells, bro. And it's like, no, that's probably where you should have an understanding of like, okay,
Oh, mate,
what are we trying to create with this person? What are we trying to do with this person? And how can we do that? Like, it makes sense to maybe give someone something reverse banded or cuffed, or using a seat belt, or setting up like a cuffed tricep extension where you've got a band pulling the other way to act as a restraint. Because if you understand what the fuck that's doing for that person, maybe that lines up perfectly with what they want, and maybe that's the first exercise you do when you walk in the gym. It's not impossible that that's the case. It's also not impossible that someone's first exercise is a barbell back squat, but it comes down to what that person needs. And if you have a good wealth of knowledge, you know how to apply it. We're not just going to universally give everyone something really complicated for the sake of it. The complication of the exercise or the complication of the approach you take comes down to the needs of that person.
Yeah, well, one of my clients says to me this morning, we were trying a barbell squat for the first time in a while, because like the first time I sort of assessed him, I'm like, yeah, we're not fucking doing this. This is a terrible idea. It does not suit you. Not that I said this to him, but this is my brain. Yeah. And then we tried something again today, because he didn't fancy the hack squat. And I'm like, okay, let's go and try this this barbell squat here. And we were sort of talking about it, and he's like, I know this is a basic exercise that I should be doing. And I sort of say, what makes you think it's basic? And he's like, well, everyone does it. I'm like, okay, so what have you got to do here? And he's like, well, I've got to not fall over, I've got to squat down, I've got to pause at the bottom, and lists off 7 other things. So I'm like, okay, and what have you got to do at the leg extension? He's like, straighten my leg and pause at the top. Which is simpler? And he's like, oh, the leg extension.
Yep. When you're that new to the gym, and like particularly if his goals are just like, well, I imagine they just like look a bit better. It's like
knee not hurt and be good at skiing.
Yeah, there you go. Like, cool, we can achieve that with a leg extension. We don't need to barbell back squat. Yeah, sure, we want some other stuff in there, but you don't need to barbell back squat for that person. But I think there's people either apply knowledge when it's not needed, or make things extremely high level for no reason, or people make things stupidly dumb for no reason. And both camps are as bad as each other, because what the fuck? Paul Carter would be a shit PT, fucking woeful PT,
terrible PT.
And like, it's like when we had Paul on the podcast, like I guarantee if you took 2 of his clients, one would be like, oh, it's just like fucking fairly simple programming, and this one's got a whole load of shit going on. Oh my god, what the fuck? I've never even heard of these things, and there's a billion notes next to it. And like for some people it might be the first exercise super complicated, billion notes next to it. Next one, dumbbell curl. Make sure your biceps feel pain when you do this. Like, again, it comes down to that person. I think people do the same thing with sleep. They'll create these huge, crazy, super restrictive nighttime routines, and it's like,
and it's worse.
Yeah, because they're more stressed.
I think that's exactly what separates. I think that's one of the biggest things, actually, because like that separates really shit coaches from being good to really good. It's just actually like, I think it's just a bare minimum for coaches. You need to like actually be able to individualize programs and stuff like that for people. That's just a bare minimum. But like that should, like, why are we not like doing that on like Instagram and TikTok? When they put people's content out, it's just always a blanket statement. I understand why, because like it gets you clicks if you go, oh yeah, leg extensions are now B tier or whatever, or D tier, and it's like it gets you a click. I get it, but it's also just spreading misinformation. Them same people will, or they'll argue and like be annoyed. Like Paul Carter's always annoyed by idiots in his comments, and it's like, who do you think propagated them idiot? Like it really irritates me when people are learning off that. Like, you're an influencer for a reason. I wouldn't say he's an influencer. I guess he's a coach in it. I don't really know. He has like an app, doesn't he, or something? I can't remember. But like influencers like get annoyed, especially the scientific ones, get annoyed by stupid people in the comments, and most of them people will be made because they're listening to people like him with zero context and being like, oh, well, this just applies to everyone. It's like, well, no, it just fucking doesn't.
And they're the same sort of people that don't actually know enough mechanics to know that not every leg extension is exactly the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, they're all shit. Well, on that sort of note, like, I've fucked around with this plenty of times. set up a band so that it offloads the top part of a leg extension so that it's way lighter, so it doesn't hurt somebody in the top or whatever the fuck it may be. But if I do that with every single person, they're like, why does Luke spend fucking 5 minutes of our session fucking around with this band? But if I do it on the guy that gets a lot of knee pain, he's like, yeah, this is well worth it because now I don't hurt. One of my clients, Will, when we first started, basically had like nerve issues in his hand. So gripping onto anything would really aggravate it, and then he couldn't work the next day, and then obviously not earn money, which is not ideal for being alive. So doing cuffed exercises with him was well worth it. If I make everyone do that, well, I can't be fucked. I just want to do a pull-up. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's where just it feels so like true knowledge is not just going. Here's the thing I recently found out. Let's give that to everyone. True knowledge is going, well, it's just another thing that I can use, and here's the application of that. Like, it really is that easy. Like, cuffed exercises exist. You should probably know what they are and how they work and why they differ to things that grip. Cool. Now, when things arise that mean that you need some kind of cuff, do that. Or a cuff pullover versus a rope pullover. The difference is if they're both single arm, one grips, one doesn't. Cool, nice. Maybe range of motion depending on the length of the rope. Cool, nice.
try to be involvement as well.
Okay, I'll grant you that. Fine. But if you've got someone who's got like tricep, elbow issues, if you've got someone who has grip issues, forearm issues, that's where you can start to play around and implement that thing. Whereas you don't necessarily need to jump straight to that unless there's that need. And people just kind of will be like, nah, don't use a cuff. Cuffing is gay. Okay, mate, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm so sick of people.
Take that argument to its extreme of, okay, well, a cuff is something that you attach to a cable stack. So therefore, cable stacks are always better if you don't attach something to them. So you should just use the ball of the cable. But actually, you know, cables are redirecting gravity, and that's a bit too complicated. Why don't we just use stuff that's only subject to gravity in one direction? So we'll just use some dumbbells, but actually dumbbells are like a modern invention. So really we should just be picking up like logs and stones and shit. And that's the best way to get jacked. I'm not like, what? Fuck off.
One of the pet peeves that I always see on like social media or talking to coaches, they'll be like, I just keep it simple. I just keep it simple. I just give people the basics. I just keep it simple. Okay. Like the sentence should be, I give people what they need. And sometimes that's simple and sometimes that's not. But like, I feel like people who say that go, I just keep it simple, just kind of screams to me, I don't know what I'm doing. They'll be like, okay, barbell back squat. Oh, that hurts you. Box squat. That hurts you. Leg press. That hurts you. Okay. Rather than being like, okay, why does it hurt? What does it hurt? They're just like randomly swapping shit out and going, right, what did I see Ronnie do? Ronnie did walking lunges with a barbell. So we'll actually put that in. And then afterwards we'll do a barbell curl and we'll do a barbell overhead press and we'll do a bench press, incline press. Cool. And it's like, oh, that hurts your shoulders. I don't know, dumbbell fly. Oh, that hurts your shoulders. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Dumbbell press. Oh, that hurts your shoulders. And it's like people who, whenever coaches can describe their approach to coaching in one sentence and the sentence isn't what the client needs, I'm a bit like, bro, come on.
Trial and error coaches is what I call it. Trial and error. They just like try everything until something works, and you can be like, oh, I did this on purpose. No, you just got lucky. That's that. You can't afford to get lucky with every single client. If something's going wrong, it is your job to find out what that is, fucking learn about it and fix it. That's why they're paying you. Otherwise, they could just fucking do that realistically. Like, what are you doing? Sorry, Luke, I kind of interrupted there. My bad.
I wasn't really going to say anything.
Oh, my bad.
This is kind of funny anecdote based on what we're talking about. I was training my client Jason, and I realized all my stories and now I was training someone. But anyway, it is what it is. And I sort of said a cue to him. What was it? It was training side delts, and I'm like, think about sort of sweeping out with the arms. And some people are like, yeah, this is fucking great. I said to him, he's like, I've got no idea what you mean. That actually feels worse. And I'm like, okay, cool. Ignore me. That's fine. Like, it's not a problem.
Yep. Yeah.
Not all cues are magic and work for absolutely everyone, weirdly enough.
I had a conversation with a coach where he was like, I gave someone a Bulgarian split squat and they're like, oh my God, that's the first time I've ever felt my glutes. And I was like, bro, that's amazing. Like, let's break that down. Let's maybe think about why. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, why did you give the Bulgarian split squat? And he's like, it's just what I picked. And I was like, damn, okay. And I was like, you gonna do anything with that? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. But like, just the idea of like, you've got amazing feedback from that client and you're not going to read between the lines a little bit of like, oh, okay, first time you felt your glutes, let's see how you're doing this. What things were you previously doing? Let's kind of break that down. Maybe like he might have even fucking programmed it as a quad dominant Bulgarian split squat. And then it's like, oh, you feel it in your glutes. Weird W, will take it. It just kind of like when coaches or PTs are just like accidentally hit on something that works and then don't read into it. Because like that lift's not going to stay in forever. So when you next give her something and you want her to feel it in her glutes, how are you any better off than when you first brought her on? You're not, because you took a guess, it worked. He's probably just going to give another kind of lunge. And what if she's like, I don't want a lunge? It's like, okay, but read between the lines with your clients. Like Luke, you said there with that client, like if you took him from a cable, like you say doing a cable lateral and then you put him on a dumbbell lateral, you're not then going to go, make sure you sweep out with your arms. Like, no,
Yeah.
you move forward with the
I'll
client.
be concerned that then the client thinks, oh, they're an idiot because it doesn't work. Well, it's like we've done fucking 70 other exercises and he knows that the way that we've set them up hurt him way less than what they used to. So he's like, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. Luke still knows what he's doing. That's
It's
but
like
people are so scared to be wrong. And I've admitted that a couple of times. I'm like, yeah, actually, I made the wrong call there. Like, it is what it is. At least we know for next time.
It happens, but it comes down to like knowing and learning from that, because you're not going to be like, I gave someone an exercise, it brutally hurt X joints, probably because it's fairly
Let's
known.
just do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I gave you a
Run
leg
it
extension that was horrible on your knees. We have a very contraction focused leg extension. We tried to play around with it. It just wasn't happening. Okay, cool. Let's do another exercise where there's a lot of talk through the knee and the contraction. Like, no, like let's break down maybe why that occurred or whatever. But I think a lot of coaches are just they just don't work with their clients. They just kind of be like, I'm going to program this person how I want to be programmed or how I tend to program people, rather than being like, okay, that's not working for that person. You know, sometimes you give someone an exercise, they're like, this is the worst thing I've ever felt in my life. And you're like, oh shit, sorry, let's swap that. Sometimes they go, I feel this incredibly, like you give someone like something that's meant to bias something and it biases something else. You're like, okay, cool, good to know, you know?
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's almost like template coaching without like having a template in front of you. You can always I remember listening to a podcast. I think it was before I even knew Jack. Actually, I think it was like as I was getting to know him. I remember listening to a podcast saying like, you shouldn't be able to tell what the coach, like who the coach is, if you just see someone's program. And I think that's like, that is obviously that is just obvious. But I think a lot of people forget that. I think a lot of people fall into the habit of doing the same shit over and over with the same people. And then not that like I'm an experienced coach, but I make sure I don't do that. Because it just always leads to bad results, right? Like it's just not everyone. There's how many billion people on this earth now? Like they're not. There's going to be like no one really the exact same. So how can you treat them the exact same? I know that's such a general statement. I've said that like 5 times now. But
yeah, but when you work with enough people, you know, okay, this guy's got knee issues, and with the last 5 people that I work with that have knee issues, we tried offloading the top of the leg extension. We tried adjusting the setup so that they're not going into so much knee bend on a split squat or a hack squat or whatever it is. And this one worked for this guy. This one worked for a different guy. Well, let's try them and fucking see what happens.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like it's like you've got you know how many billion different people. You've got people that fall into the same groups, like people with knee pain, you know, shit like that. So you can try shit like that, but I'm just talking about like general programming almost. But yeah, that makes complete sense. Like the more you actually talk, it's funny, it's a completely different thing, but the more you actually talk about PT and the more I'm actually interested in doing it in the future. It seems like such a rewarding job. Like I love online coaching. I always have. I probably do what I kind of want to fall into the same thing as you. Almost like I love the fact, like I remember you talking about earlier, like you almost don't love the transformation of, you know, having like a bodybuilder go through like prep and stuff like that. The rewarding transformations you feel
way
like
more cool to take someone that doesn't know how to train, that's injured, and like turn them into a fucking badass.
I would have the exact not that I've coached like a bodybuilder, but like I agree, like the people like almost my lifestyle clients, I really feel like it's almost like I feel like they're way more attached to the process as well. Like they'll text you back and they'll be like, oh yeah, I fit into, like I got a text from Kat the other day and it was like, I fit into these jeans I haven't fit into for like 3 years. And I was like, that filled me with so much joy. It was unreal. Like knowing, like
You
I'm
mean you
part
didn't
of a
just
process.
text her back and say, yeah, but how much can you leg press?
Yeah, I should have gone. How much can you bench, bro? Nah, to be fair, she can probably bench more than me. She's pretty fucking wham, to be fair. But yeah, it is actually mental. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with that. I just wanted to say.
Speaking of PC, I've got to shoot and have lunch before my next session. But this was class. We need to. We'll add Matty to the regulars with Dan, mate, because this is.
Yeah, come. We'll do one in like a week or two to get this wrapped up. Luke, if you want to dip, I'll wrap up things with Matty.
In a bit, boys.
Sorry, mate. I was yapping in a bit.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, you fucking should be sorry.
Yeah. Not that you were 20 minutes late or anything, but you know.
Whoa!
exposed on camera.
Right.
Yeah, man. Fucking coaching and PTing is such a. I mean, honestly, I feel bad that we probably repeat ourselves so much, and because I got 2 podcasts, repeat myself over both podcasts. But there's just so much shit in the industry that's so fucking annoying. And yeah, I just think like when you're a coach or PT, your job is to do your job, and if you have a preconceived way of doing that, like it's just not gonna work for everyone because you just can't guarantee that.
Yeah, it's almost like me walking to a retail shift and expecting the exact same thing every single night when it's not. It's just not. Like retail's probably the worst example of it because it's a really basic job. But like even then, like it's not going to be the same. Am I going to have to take fucking milk out tonight? Like it's always going to change, and I don't want to do that because that takes fucking forever. But anyway, I'll let you wrap up.
Cheers, brother. So, Matty, if people want to get coached by you, what is your Instagram?
My disgustingly awful name of Matt.T_lifts. I need to change it. Maybe I'll just go like Mullet Matthew or something like that. I don't know.
Do it. I think that would. If you did Mullet Matthew and then you did TikToks, you blow up.
Fucking hell.
If you posted your current phase you're in on
the mullet progression next to it as well.
Yeah, for the rest of this phase, just grow your hair out and then be like at the end, like super fucking long mullet.
Let's just start taking steroids and get like and like see like you know like it's almost like cutting with body weight. It's like I'll start regressing in hair length every single week.
Just like hairline retreating.
Then I'll start getting a beard and it'll like look like I'm moving hair from here to here. Maybe I'll actually look like a man then. That'd be quite funny.
And so anyone who didn't catch that, for coaching with Matty is Matt.T_lifts. He's a very, very promising coach, and between the audience and I, much cheaper than me or Luke. The phrase I would use is affordable, because he's a slept-on diamond. So if you're low on cash and you need a good fucking coach who doesn't give a cheap service but charges not a lot, then hit up Matt. If you want to get coached by me, for any fucking reason, Jack_Archer Academy. Luke, LacticAddictLuke. All our links will be in the caption below for anyone who doesn't know, including Matt's. And if you want clothing, we're out, but it's BuiltNotBorn.store. Fucking subscribe, like, Jesus, there's so many things going on. Yeah, give Catabolic Window a follow, whatever the fuck, and tag us with who you want next on or any questions and everything.
Thanks.
Jeez. All right, any wise words before I end the recording, mate?
No, I can't. I'm not anything that springs to mind. I'd say actually unfollow Paul Carter right now. End video for real.